Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Grow Leafy. I am so excited to share this video with you. I have been waiting for so long just to tell you what my plans are for the next year and the years to come. I'm really excited because I have the opportunity to expand my gardening space in my backyard. And when we moved here, there was nothing in terms of no gardens. Nothing, okay? So there was a lot that I had to just build. It was just a few, it was just a little bit. But to me, it was a lot because I was a beginner gardener. And so now I'm ready to expand, and I want you to be a part of this journey. I have just already appreciated you being a part of this journey with me because I believe the more that I share, the more that you will learn because we are all on this journey together. And so these are the plans that I'm going to share with you. I'm not a designer or anything like that. This is just really coming from my heart, and I hope that you enjoy this. In the yard, I will be standing right here just to give you an idea as to where everything is located. And this is the garden enclosure that is already there. This is the one that I would like to build, a second one, with some kind of arch here, an arch trellis here as well, so that I can grow some kind of plant or vining vegetable or fruit over the arch trellis. There is a hill right here, so I'm not able to really, I can plant down the hill, but right now I'm not going to be working on that. I have some other ideas I want to use this hill for. Over here, I would like to possibly, I put a question mark because I'd possibly like to plant a tree here or some kind of nice structure that looks really nice there, since that is the entranceway to our home. And then also there will be grapes behind the enclosure. I want to build an actual orchard. So grapes, blackberries, maybe some raspberries, fruits such as strawberries as well. I want to have some of the herbs outside. Oops, outside it's a little windy here as well. And then fruit trees that will be back here. And you've seen my videos on compost. That's where my compost is. All the fruit trees will be here. I want to start off with maybe about 8 fruit trees. Blueberries, possibly corn. I'm not sure which one I'm going to put here. But if I do put corn there, then I do want to do the sister planting where you have squash and beans trellising up the corn. And then as well, I want to add chickens. Yes, we're going to have more family members added to the Grow Leafy family. Chickens for the first time. I'm excited about that, and I want to keep them pretty close to the garden areas around here. And then see, I had a question mark, corn or blueberries. So that's just the basic layout. I'm not a designer, but I just knew what I wanted to have and just sketched out this plan. So to give you an exact measurement, our property sits on about 3/4 of an acre. And when we first moved, I really wanted to move to a lot of acreage. Like I want to have at least 5 acres, maybe 3 to 5 acres. I thought that would be enough. But when we moved here, things just happen the way that they need to happen. I'm very happy where I'm at, the location that we have, and what I realize, it is very enriched here in terms of like the organic matter that is here. We have so many trees, and so when fall comes around, there's so many leaves, there's twigs, there's so much nature and beneficial insects on this property. There are bees, there are animals and deer, raccoon, just everything that you can think of. Rabbits and squirrels, even the squirrels, you gotta love them too. But turtles, everything. And so really it is an ecosystem. It really is. So even though it is not 5 acres like most people in their homesteads, they have so many. But many of us still just have backyards. And so I'm like, well, why don't I utilize what I have and make the best of it? There are many gardeners out there that don't have all of that land. They don't have big and large backyards. And so we have to be able to use what we have, whether it's container gardening, raised beds, or doing some in-ground growing directly. You do what you can, but you use what you have. So I am using actually half of the backyard over here for the growing space, and then we have another side, the other half of the backyard is just using just for fun activities. We're not growing on that side because I just want to leave some space for my child, my family, to be able to have fun outdoors. So you've seen this angle often a lot. You've seen me always working inside that garden area. So that garden is 20 by 10 foot size garden enclosure. And the reason why I enclosed it is because we have so many animals and some that will just tear up the garden. And I'm like, you're not going to tear up the garden because I want to eat. And if I let the squirrels and all these animals tear it up, then there won't be anything for me to eat and I'll be frustrated. So we're not going to do that. So I had to make sure that my family has food to eat because we want to be sustainable and be able to eat the foods that we grow. And then all the other natural nature and all the natural organic matter and the persimmons tree that we have there, and just the nuts, the black walnuts, and all of the other foods that is here is provided to the nature. So we have that garden enclosure, and I want to go ahead and build a second one over here. So it will be the same size, but I want a second one to be down right over here so that we have two large growing spaces with a total about 400 square feet space of growing foods. Here's a quick view of all the space. So my ideal plan is to have them about, let's see, maybe about 10 feet apart from one another. So having one here and then having the next enclosure about approximately over here, and then building an arch trellis, a cattle panel arch trellis that will go this way, and then, or some kind of trellis that will go from here to here, and then at the back of it, another one to go from here to here on the other side, from one enclosure to the next enclosure. That way I can grow some kind of vining, either vegetable or fruit, preferably like maybe a vining fruit, or even peas or some kind of vining sugar snap peas, something that I can also grow on that space. I want to utilize my space as much as possible. Apologies to you if my recording sounds a little bit fuzzy, but my microphone went out, so I'm just using my recording device instead. So I do want to plant a tree here, something here, or maybe a really nice decorative type piece with growing, I don't know, maybe some fruits, vegetables, herbs. Actually, I'm thinking something more like herbs, something that will not attract all the animals that want to tear it up, but something that's more deterrent. So maybe more like mint, or I'm not sure yet. So herbs, but just know that's an area where I do want to plant something, either a tree or maybe something that looks really nice, because this is towards the front entrance of our home. So I just want it to look presentable. And so this is where this enclosure will be. And then, so if you could picture yourself coming in between, in this walkway, in between the two enclosures, you would come straight, and I want to recenter this little raised bed. And I may use a different type of raised bed structure, something that may have a more appealing look to it. I have not yet figured out how I want to do it, but I want to center it. Okay, that just kind of bugs me that it's not centered. I want to put that in the middle. And then I love the lemongrass, possible idea there, having lemongrass growing right there in the middle. So it will almost be like a centerpiece that you would see from our driveway, looking straight in between the two garden enclosures, and right in the middle of almost that arch trellis pathway. I want something to be right there. All right. And then behind the two garden enclosures, up in this space, and between here and those two trees, on both sides, and I'll show you the other side. So if you can picture that there will be a garden enclosure here. So on both sides, I want to set up another arch, not arch trellis, but like cattle panel type structure where I can grow raspberries, blackberries, grapes. I want to grow an orchard, okay, behind the enclosures, and those will be outside of the garden enclosures. So all back here, I want to grow fruit trees that grow well in zone 6. And so that's what I'll be working on this year is just identifying which types of fruits that I do want to grow in zone 6. All of that. I'm hoping to plan maybe starting out with about 8 trees, fruit trees, but I want to have an orchard. And then I'm going to continually doing some composting back there. I have my one compost, sorry if the focus. I have my one compost over here, and I went ahead and got a second one that I will be setting up soon, and I'll make a video on that so you can see how I actually set it up. So another one there so that I can rotate in between the two composts, and then I have another compost that is closer to my home. And then over here, I actually want to put chickens. I would love to build an enclosure here for chickens, and I want to keep the chickens fairly close, but not too close at home, but close enough that I can get to it in my garden, just because I also want to be able to keep an eye on them. We do have coyotes that have attacked animals. I've seen a coyote kill a deer, and it's just horrible. And so I just really want to protect them, have a good eye on them, keep them fairly close, but a little bit farther away from our home, just so that they have a good space to live. And so I'm really excited about that, about chickens. That will be my first time with chickens. And then around some of the perimeter areas, I'm thinking that I might use the additional space of possibly growing some corn. It's like a sister planting, okay? It's where you have corn and peas and a squash plant. I might do a small area behind over here where I'm pointing over here, so this is the lemongrass. So back around here, I may do something like that. And I also want to do a blueberry bush. And I'm thinking it either might be there, or the corn's going to be over there, or the blueberry bush may be around here. So I have not yet exactly identified the locations of where I want things to go exactly. But this is just to give you just an idea as to the working space that I have for growing. It is a lot of space. I do understand not everybody does have this space, but it is a lot of space that I can still work with. I'm using that whole space, that kind of area, to grow an orchard and vegetables and herbs and food to help my family to be more sustainable. For me, it's just my starting point of how I want to build my area. But if you've been homesteading, or if you have been growing up your own gardening space and you have even suggestions that you want to give to me, please share them with me. I'd be more than happy. But it's not just me, because this is not just for me, but this is for others, and it's for you. And the purpose of this channel is to serve others and to educate others about the benefits of gardening and how to have a healthier lifestyle, growing foods and eating healthier, and taking care of yourself through self-care. That is very important. So if you have suggestions for others, there are people on this channel that are beginner gardeners, that are new to this, or that are growing and that want feedback and suggestions. So please, if you have feedback, feel free to share it. I'm sure that others will benefit from it. I hope you enjoyed this garden tour of what my plans will be in the next coming year and the years to come. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you have not done so, and you can receive notifications of other videos that I have posted, and also share it with others. Give me a thumbs up and like it if you enjoyed it. But just remember to grow leafy, and I will see you next time.